Hi, I'm Carl Hebeler, CPA. This video brings a little information and instructions on that new form, Beneficial Ownership Information Report, that was regulated by the Department of Treasury under FINCEN, the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network. I'm going to give you an overview and help you understand the form itself. It's not hard, but you do need to know who is the owner of every company and make sure it gets filed and completed before the end of 2024 to avoid any penalties and other issues. The beneficial ownership information reporting form is required and the due date is 2024. Really, this is an important law and there are serious consequences. So I'd advise clients and anybody who owns a company that's required to report it to do so before the end of the year. The due date is January 1st, 25, or let's say by the end of 2024, if your company already exists. If you start a new company, it has to be filed in 90 days, but it does need to be filed to avoid penalties. FINCEN is a serious organization, and they have said that they're going to carry potential civil and criminal penalties for violations up to $500 per day, or criminal penalties up to 2 years of imprisonment and or a fine up to $10,000. Civil is usually if you just forgot or you were late or you didn't care. That's one thing, but if you are intentionally and willfully not wanting to report who the owners are for your company, then criminal penalties could be assessed. So I encourage you to do it. Find out who the owners are, get the information and their ID ready to go. It takes a few minutes. We're going to explain it in this video. Beneficial Ownership Information Report, as I mentioned, is sponsored by the U.S. Treasury Financial Crimes Enforcement Network called FINCEN. And here's their video promoting it or trying to explain it. We can kind of watch for a minute, explaining the background and why we have to deal with this. And as I mentioned, it's January 24th, January 1st, 2024 for all existing companies. And the reason here is they're trying to promote national security and protecting the U.S. financial system from fraud and abuse. Basically, a lot of companies are legitimate, but there are some that are using LLCs and corporations to hide the identities of bad actors, people who are laundering money and ultimately hurting businesses and the United States. So the Corporate Transparency Act, passed in 2021, the CTA, determined that this form, beneficial ownership form, would have to be filled out by everybody who owns a company or controls a company starting in 2024. So it took a few years and now it's live and passing. I would say every company, every small business has to do this, maybe 30, 40 million companies. The ones that are exempt are insurance companies, brokerage firms, public companies, and nonprofit organizations, ownership, HOAs. So anybody that's a private company, LLCs, corps, S-corps, partnerships, these companies all have to fill out this form. So if you filled out a form with the state, whatever state you're in, that will determine you have to fill out this form. If you're self-employed, not an issue. But if you filled out a form with the Secretary of State saying that you are an organization in your state, then the FINCEN will require this. These are the tax exempts and the public companies already reporting. You don't have to fill out this form. Basically, it's just your name and address and a form of ID. It's almost as simple as getting a driver's license, but a reporting company has to give the name of anybody who's in charge, 25% or more, or controlling the company, and of course the tax ID number of the company and all the people who are involved. Legal name, birth date, address, and your ID number from a driver's license, passport. Have all that information ready. You can fill it out. It takes about 5 minutes. And so if you're an owner, you have to fill it out, 25%, or if you had a company incorporate for you, a CPA or an attorney or someone else, they have to also be on this form. So a beneficial owner and a company applicant, they are both required. The company applicants are for that requirement is for new companies starting after January 1st, but you already applied and already formed, then there is no company applicant. All right, we're going to talk about how to fill out the form online. Very easy to do. You want to find the form by typing in beneficial ownership on Google. It'll bring you right up to the URL for FINCEN. We'll click on that, and we will get the form itself with all the instructions. Go to the home page, and then you will get the Get Started. Let's click on Get Started. And we're going to prepare it online. You could do it by a PDF, and if you had more information you wanted to prepare, and then submit the PDF, but it's easier if we just go online to fill it out. And notice that there's basically a few boxes here to fill in. Filing information, reporting, the applicants if it applies, beneficial owners, which is the main information, and submit. Anything that has an asterisk to it have to be filled in. So this is the beginning page. This is the initial report because we've never filed this before. And here you could request to get an ID number if you're going to fill this in, use this number more than once. Obviously the name of the company would be here. let's say it's the ABC, make up a name, Reporting LLC. And maybe they have other names like ABC Reports. If they had an alternate name or DBAs, you would add it in there. The next box 7 is the EIN number that you received when you formed the company. And EINs are 9 digits. So if it's a 9-5 or a 8-4, you would fill in all 9 digits. If you try and put the dash in, you're going to get an error message because it has to be 9 digits without the dash. And the country is United States, and the state, wherever you formed the company in, that would be the state that you would put in when it was organized. And of course, the address of the state and the city, United States, it's going to be United States and the state. So you have to put the address and the zip code of the company that we're reporting for. So we're up to this point. If it's an existing company, if it was formed before 2024, you don't need to fill in all the company application information. So you can go straight to part 3. This is part 2. For new companies, you do have to fill this in. So let's click on beneficial owner, and this is where, if let's say there is no guardian or child involved, so here you would fill in the name of the owner or the person that has significant influence. Again, it's 25% or more of ownership, or someone who has significant control. So let's say there's a CFO who writes all the checks. He doesn't have any ownership. He would have to be one of the beneficial owners in the sense that he can control the company or has an influence over it. So right here on 38 is the first information. Notice that you have to write the last name in this box and the first name. First time we did it, had it backwards. So last name, then the first name. Date of birth, of course, has to be input. The residential address of that person. Keep putting the Simona, but let's say it's the United States of America, and the state, let's assume they live in California, just for this example, and the zip code. So these red boxes mean the information is not filled in and it won't go through. So you can fill in the residential address. The next box or block is easy, but sometimes hard for people because you have to actually get a scanned PDF of your ID. You can use your driver's license or a passport, and that would be the information you would put in right here. So you're going to fill all this in, put in your driver's license number, whatever it is. Just put that in there, and right here is where you drag your PDF into this box and it submits. That's all you have to do. And then at the end of, we're going to go, if there are other people, you would add each one by one. And that is about all you have to do. You have to do the little human thing, I agree, and then submit it. And then once it's done, you're going to get a closure. You'll get a form at the end saying it's been done. It'll look like filing successful, and you'll get your ID number, and that is what you will be using to keep in your records. So I just wanted to end it there, and hopefully you can have success and do this within 5-10 minutes, save it, and then be done with it. If you move where there's any changes in ownership, you have to file an update within 30 days. All right, good luck.